Gaming is a hobby that many of us enjoy. There isn't a better feeling after you're done with work or school and you come home, jump on the couch, turn your console on and play a match or two with your friends. But we all witnessed some instances where things would heat up. Is it because someone didn't manage to clear the objective or didn't ping a missing enemy on the map, but sometimes the fight would start over an in-game item. Moments of rage weren't rare. But when gaming becomes something more, like an obsession or to the point of an addiction, things can take a wrong turn very quickly, like in this case we're looking at today. This is a very sad story of how a virtual item led to a death of a real life. Remember, if you find this video interesting, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel to get more videos like this in the future. And before we really dive in, I want to thank you for tuning in and I hope you will enjoy this video. The story begins in the densely populated city of Shanghai, China in 2004. Where a very popular MMO game called Legend of Mir was all the rage. It even broke the Guinness Book of Records for having 750,000 subscribers online. Legend of Mir 3 was a sprite-based isometric 3D MMO game, developed by V-Made Entertainment. And by the time the game has closed in February 2012, it had whopping 120 million registered users. Among them were two players, we could call them even friends, whose relationship wasn't based just on online interaction. They both enjoyed the Legend of Mir 3 game. They would often team up and find loot and clear dungeons together. And if some of you played MMO games, you know how loot is important. And if somebody was sneaky and steals the whole loot, it would often lead to rage moments amongst the once friendly guild members. In the realms of the game, The Legend of Mir 3, there was one special sword, which was only possessed by the richest and the most talented players. This item would be worn with pride, like a trophy. This special sword was called Dragon Saber. One late night, Chiu and Zhu raided a dungeon and managed to kill the boss. But suddenly, a ultra rare item was dropped. It was none other than the Dragon Saber. Both were filled with joy. But there was a problem. Who would take this rare item? They both made a pact where they decided to share the item each time one of them needs it. This went well for some time, but before you know it, Zhu found out something that didn't make him so happy. You see, Q would overshare the sword amongst his other friends without Zhu knowing it. After finding out, Zhu was pissed and decided to lend out the sword for one last time. He asked Q if it was okay to take the sword, which he didn't have any problems with. If you didn't know, there is a whole market, sometimes it would be often eBay, where you could sell your online goodies to the other players. With one simple click and a few bucks spent, you could be owner of the famous Dragon Saber. So one late night, Zhu discovered that the price of the Dragon Saber was jaw-dropping 8,000 yuan, which is almost $1,000 in today's money. Just for comparison, our average salary in Shanghai is around 18,000 yuan, which is roughly $2,800. So you see why the young Zhu was tempted to sell the sword to make a quick buck. The 26-year-old Zhu listed the Dragon Saber for 7,200 yuan. But he didn't wait long before an anonymous buyer caught the sight of this rare item and bought it. Now of course few days have passed and Chu wanted the Dragon Saber back to help him in a quest. But then Zhu simply answered that the sword was no longer in his possession. Chu was very angry. Such an act made his blood boil. But Chu calmed down and simply said to Zhu, "It's okay, but you need to give me a part of the money." But his buddy Zhu just disappeared and ghosted him, not appearing online and not answering any calls. The only thing Chu could do is to inform a theft to the police for a virtual item. As you probably guessed it, police couldn't do anything about it. You see, there are no property laws around virtual items, and the police hands were bound because there wasn't any crime to have a case. After 2 attempts to get the money, the angry Chu decided to take justice in his own hands. He made an evil plan which would be executed in October of 2004. Chu traveled to his friend's apartment on the Kipu Road in the city of Shanghai. That one morning Zhu was peacefully sleeping, but something interrupted his sleep. Sounds of breaking and scratching. On the other side was the angry Chu, who uses all his power to break in. Zhu managed to get up and quickly realized what was Chow's intention after seeing his knife pointing towards him. Zhu did offer to hand over the cash, but Mr. Chu lost his patience and started to stab his once online friend. He proceeded to stab him multiple times in the chest with great force. After committing the horrific deed, Chu just sits there, across a large body of someone with whom he spent many nights and laughs. Chu didn't have any plans afterward and turned himself in. Chu was sentenced to a death sentence. Yes, his life would be ended because he took revenge on once his friend for stealing an in-game item. Well, it wasn't like a real death sentence. It was a sentence to death with 2-year reprieve, which in effect means life behind bars. That could be reduced to 15 years if he behaves well. This obviously has angered the victim's family. They even quoted to the press, "We want Chu to die, and immediately." Following the case, the law professor of Beijing Renmin University of China said that such weapons should be deemed as private property because players, I quote, "have to spend time and money for them." So this was the dark side of an online gaming friendship. It's really hard to imagine that one life was taken for the sole purpose of getting revenge over an item that doesn't exist in the real world. Of course, I know many people who value those things, items, ranks, and other in-game stuff, but even if you lose a match and you become a bit angry, it's okay, you will get another chance to settle the score. But this topic today is a morbid story of how addiction and anger can overcome someone and blind him with rage. Even if selling the item behind Q's back was not the best move, this whole story shouldn't end it this way. Imagine just being sentenced to life in prison for an item that is now forgotten and doesn't have any use. Just crazy, what do you think? I hope you enjoyed this video because it was a quite new topic for my channel to cover such a case. If you did enjoy, remember to smash that like, consider subscribing to the channel to see more videos like this. If you wanna see the videos early or have your name in the credits, there are things like the YouTube membership program or Patreon. Thank you for tuning in, and until the next time, take care and bye.